Hello, good morning to everyone. Thank you very much for joining us online, and thank you for joining us in person here at the beautiful Ukraine House in Washington, D.C. My name is Kateryna Smagliy, and I'm proud to represent my nation in Washington, serving at the Ukrainian Embassy in Washington, D.C. as First Secretary for Cultural and Public Diplomacy. I'm delighted to welcome all of you today to help to announce a major U.S. tour of the National Ballet of Ukraine, not only recognized as one of the very best dance companies in the world, but also one of the most important symbols of the rich and historic culture of Ukraine. For those of you who are joining us remotely, we are hosting this event, as I mentioned, at the beautiful Ukraine House, which was opened by Ambassador of Ukraine Oksana Markarova in 2021. As we go through the program, if any of you have questions, please put them in the chat and we will address them at the conclusion of this presentation. We will begin the program by inviting Ukraine's ambassador to the US, Oksana Markarova, to say a few words. Dear Ambassador, please come to the stage.
Hello to everyone. What a great day. I'm extremely glad to open today's press event devoted to the upcoming tour of the National Ballet of Ukraine, one of the world's premier ballet companies, directly from its home, our home, from Taras Shevchenko National Opera in Kyiv, Ukraine. After completing the tour in Canada, on October 8, the company will start the tour in the United States, the first ever such a big tour after actually we became independent from the Soviet Union. This 16-city tour will begin on October 8, as I said, and it will start with performance in the Kennedy Center for Performing Arts in Washington, D.C., a place which we at the Embassy of Ukraine and all community here are proud to call friends and the place where we like to come back. Joining the company also will be Ukrainian Shumka Dancers from Canada, which has earned a worldwide reputation as one of the finest Ukrainian folk dancers. Present with us today, the organizers of the tour, and I would like to start by thanking all of you for your efforts to bring the National Ballet of Ukraine to the United States, the Princeton Entertainment Group, Humanity Peace Collective, the Edward Haddock Jr. Family Foundation, and of course, the Ginsburg Family Foundation, and personally, its executive director and the dear friend, Mark McMurrin. The tour represents much more than just a great, exquisite, high-level, world-level ballet. It's also a symbol of resilience and bravery of Ukrainian people, and opportunity for Ukraine once again to celebrate our rich and remarkable cultural legacy, but also share it with everyone, share it with our friends. The dancers are not just showcasing this culture, they are preserving it by dancing. Even more importantly, this tour will raise urgently needed funds to help the embattled citizens of my country. So from all the perspectives, this is a unique and very anticipated event. Portions of the proceeds from the ticket purchases, merchandise, and all the individual donations will benefit Humanite, an organization that works to meet diverse needs and challenges that inflicted by Russian aggression into the people of Ukraine. The tour has also established a partnership with our Ukraine House here, which we are also so glad to welcome, and will support the Ukraine House efforts in Ukraine. After the Russian army once again crossed the border of our sovereign nation in February 2022, the international community has mobilized all the efforts to protect what existed prior to the war and ensure that Ukraine's rich cultural heritage is fully preserved, not only for us, it's existential for us, but also for the rest of the world. As the brutal and senseless full-scale attack on Ukraine continues, our resilient artists use the colors of music, dance, poetry to proclaim our identity to the world. Let this tour be a celebration for what binds our great nations together, US and Ukraine: freedom, expression, and the pursuit of peace and beauty over tyranny and destruction. This is what Ukraine is fighting for now: for art and creativity to multiply and be preserved, for theaters not to be burned, for artists and admirers not to perish, and for music to sound across our country instead of sirens as we hear now. So on behalf of everyone in Ukraine, on behalf of the Embassy of Ukraine, we wholeheartedly thank you for this tour. We wholeheartedly endorse this tour, and we invite everyone across the United States to come and experience wonderful Ukrainian ballet, to join us in our fight, and to stay close together so that we can win for the benefit of everyone who believes in the same values and everyone who cherishes beauty. Thank you very much. God bless America. God bless Americans. And Slava Ukraini.
Thank you, Ambassador, for your inspirational remarks. And now let me introduce to this and invite you to the stage the producer of the tour, Mr. Edward Kassas.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Ambassador. We're honored, Princeton Entertainment Group and our partners, to be the ones to bring this incredible dance company to the United States. It follows a really successful tour by the company through Canada, and is actually the first part of two tours of the United States. After the tour in October, the company will return to Kyiv and dance at the Opera House. And sadly, every time they dance at the Opera House, it can only be to 400 people, because that's the number of people that the bomb shelter holds. Here, we hope to have 3,000 people a night to see these incredible dancers. The first leg of the tour will be 20 performances. And as the ambassador mentioned, we'll be starting at the Kennedy Center, which I think is a proper salute to the company and to the bond between the United States and the Ukraine. After the Kennedy performance, we go directly down the east coast of the United States. In February of 25, we'll come back and do the Midwest and the western part of the country. As the ambassador mentioned, the tour is in support of families and children in the Ukraine that have been affected by the war and have lost their childhood, lost their homes. In cases, there are so many that have lost their lives. So we do this in dedication to all of those in the Ukraine that have suffered, and to bring this incredible culture to the United States. These are the greatest dancers in the world. They're equivalent to dancers from Royal Opera House in London or any of the other great companies in the United States. So we're honored to bring them here. To combine the dancers from the National Ballet Ukraine with Shumka is a first. So you'll see the excitement of Ukrainian folk dance, as well as the brilliance of the ballet from the National Ballet. And another element, which is the first time that's ever been done in a dance performance, it's the inclusion of a 3D LED screen, which will make the performances unique in a way that the audience will see the scenes of Ukraine, and whatever will be on stage as the backdrop actually come out towards them as well. So let's say it's a scene where it's snowing on the dancers. Well, the snow will actually come out into the audience through 3D, so that the line between the stage and the audience disappears. And you feel like you're one with the dancers and one with the performance in a way that's never been done at a dance performance before. This will be the truly first immersive performance of dance in the world. So we thank you all. We look forward to a tremendous tour artistically, and we hope that we have the opportunity to raise great funds, both in ticket sales and in donations, to support Ukraine and its citizens. Thank you, sir. Sure. We have a video that I think is pretty self-explanatory, but I'll introduce it anyway. It shows both the company, the National Ballet, and Shumka. So please. Thank you.
Thank you, Edward. As you rightly mentioned, this event is not only a great cultural event, but also a wonderful example of Ukraine's cultural diplomacy. And that is why it is so fitting that the tour will kick off here in Washington, D.C. at the John Kennedy Center. Let me invite Jane Raleigh, the director of the dance programming at the Kennedy Center, to say a few words about how this program fits into the Kennedy Center's mission.
Thank you so much to Ambassador Markarova and our friends at the Ukrainian Embassy for having me today. My name is Jane Raleigh. I'm the Director of Dance Programming at the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts here in Washington, D.C. The Kennedy Center is and has been a proud partner of the Embassy and has highlighted Ukrainian culture and Ukrainian artists on our stages since the start of the war in 2022. We were thrilled to have the Ukrainian Freedom Orchestra just this past weekend perform at the center for the second time. And it was my great privilege to present Ukrainian dancers and culture on our Opera House stage in February of 2023 with a special production of Alexei Ratmansky's Giselle. For us, this upcoming performance is not only about showcasing extraordinary artistic talent, it is about demonstrating the importance of culture and, of course, the power of music and dance to unite and inspire. The Kennedy Center has always been proud to be a beacon of connection, and as a living memorial to President Kennedy, we take inspiration from his understanding of the power of the arts to illuminate the universal human experience. Having the opportunity to support Ukrainian artists coming to Washington and facilitating connections between these artists and our audiences is so special. It is our great honor to amplify the dancers of Ukraine, to witness their amazing fortitude in the face of adversity, and to welcome them at the nation's cultural center here in the United States later this fall. Thank you again to our wonderful partners at the Ukrainian Embassy, especially Ambassador Markarova. The Kennedy Center could not be more proud of our past collaborations, and we look forward to many more opportunities to partner in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. And we are now especially honored to introduce to you three guests who are joining us from Ukraine. Unfortunately, our first speaker, Mr. Petro Chupryna, General Director and Artistic Manager of the National Opera House, is currently on travel and he is not able to join us online, but he has prepared some pre-recorded video remarks that I will translate.
Я щиро вдячний надзвичайному і повноваженому послу України в Сполучених Штатах Америки Оксані Маркаровій і усім причетним за проведення прес-конференції в Українському домі у Вашингтоні. Мене звати Петро Чуприна, і я виступатиму від імені Національного академічного театру опери та балету України імені Тараса Шевченка.
I'm deeply thankful to Ambassador of Ukraine to the United States, Oksana Markarova, and everyone who helped to support and prepare this event for giving me an opportunity to speak at the Ukrainian House in Washington. My name is Petro Chupryna, and I will speak on behalf of the National Academic Theatre of Opera and Ballet of Ukraine, named after Taras Shevchenko.
З великим задоволенням я разом з своїми колегами проінформую про турне, яке пройде впродовж жовтня в Сполучених Штатах, яке носитиме наш дух, наші традиції, наш менталітет і продемонструє високу майстерність артистів Національної опери України великому народу Сполучених Штатів.
I'm extremely pleased, together with my colleague, to join today's event and inform you about the tour that will be opened in October in the United States and which will bring to America our spirit, our traditions, our mentality, and demonstrate the highly skilled performance of our ballet dancers from the National Opera of Ukraine to the people of the United States.
Наша балетна трупа складається з 150 артистів і має великий досвід гастрольної роботи, має великий авторитет у багатьох країнах світу. 25 артистів візьмуть участь у цьому турне. До широкомасштабного російського вторгнення ми щомісяця у себе в Києві показували по 26-27 оперних і балетних вистав.
So our ballet troupe has 150 artists. All of them are highly skilled and experienced with international tours. They have highly regarded reputation in many countries of the world. 25 ballet dancers will participate in this tour. Prior to Russia's full-scale aggression, we organized 26, 27 opera and ballet performances per month. Half of them were ballet performances.
Половина з них були балетними. Зараз ми показуємо не більше 16-17 вистав, тобто балетних спектаклів ми демонструємо по 8, максимум 9. Є ще одна особливість роботи театру в умовах війни. Наш глядачевий зал розрахований на 1304 місця. Однак зараз ми приймаємо не більше 460 глядачів.
So, unfortunately, due to Russia's aggression, we now are capable of organizing only 16, 17 performances per month. That means that our ballet performances have been reduced to 8, maximum 9. There is another particularity of our work under conditions of the war. As you may know, our audience can include 1,304 guests, but unfortunately now we can only seat 460.
Це зумовлено місткістю бомбосховища, яке розташовано в підвальному приміщенні театру, де ми не можемо гарантувати безпеку більш ніж такій кількості. Наш репертуар складається з творів національної і світової класики, з творів сучасних.
Our decision to have only 460 individuals per performance is not caused by our lack of interest in our performances, but because our bomb shelter can only comfortably seat 460. It is located in the basement of our opera house. Our repertoire includes both national and world classics and also pieces by Ukrainian contemporary composers.
Композиторів. До війни в репертуарі балету було понад 30 найменувань. Впродовж минулого сезону ми відновили показ 20 балетних вистав, 20 найменувань. До гастрольного турне ми готувалися з особливою ретельністю і підготували унікальну програму, до якої війшли однозначно твори високої художньої цінності і будуть виконуватись нашими майстрами найвищого.
Prior to the war, our repertoire included 30 different ballet pieces, but unfortunately during this season we can only show 20 ballet pieces per season. I must say that we have prepared ourselves to this tour in the United States with all our skill and dedication. The program will include a lot of highly regarded and known compositions, which will be performed by our dancers at the highest possible skill level.
Ми сподіваємось, що ви приєднаєтесь до нашого туру, коли ми принесемо частину нашого дому, нашу щирість, нашу відвертість, коли ми продемонструємо високу майстерність, високий клас артистів Національного академічного театру опери та балету України імені Тараса Шевченка.
So we sincerely hope that you will join our tour because we bring to the United States a piece of our homes, our sincerity, our openness, And as I said, we will demonstrate the highest skill in professionalism, which is shared by all artists of the National Academic Theatre of Opera and Ballet Theatre named after Taras Shevchenko. And because Mr. Chupryna is not joining us online, I will still thank him for these wonderful remarks and invite his colleagues who are available online. The first is Prima Ballerina Natalia Matsak. Natalia, are you with us?
Hello, everyone.
Would you please say us a few words about why you believe this tour is so important?
Thank you for the opportunity to address you today at this press conference announcing in the United States tour of the National Ballet of Ukraine. My name is Natalia Matsak, Prima Ballerina National Opera of Ukraine and People Artist of Ukraine. It is a great honor for us to represent our country, and we look forward to meeting our American friends. This war has taken so much from us, but it cannot and will not take the spirit of the Ukrainian people. Since the war began, many artists fled the country, some perished on the front lines, while others continued to preserve our identity and culture. I do believe artists have a role to play in this war, whether on the battlefield or the stage. We are embarking on this United States tour not simply to show our Ukrainian culture to the world. Let this ballet be a reminder that we are a nation of people united by so much more than a common enemy. We share language, culture, art, beauty, and history. Let us be reminded that we must not lose our humanity in this fight for survival. By joining us, you are not just buying a ticket to a world-class performance by some of Ukrainians' most accomplished dancers. We are supporting fathers, mothers, sons, and daughters affected by the senseless brutality. Joining us on this tour means supporting life, the arts, and all those affected by this war. May God bless the United States of America, and may God bring swift victory to Ukraine. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalia. And now we have remarks from your colleague, Mykyta Sukhorukov, Premier Soloist from the National Ballet of Ukraine. Mykyta, are you with us?
Yes. Thank you for this opportunity to talk to you today. I'm Mykyta Sukhorukov, one of the principal dancers on this tour. The National Ballet of Ukraine has not officially toured the United States in more than 30 years, so this tour is very special. Ukraine and America share so much in common, especially our mutual love and respect for the arts, culture, and sanctity of human life. This friendship between our two great nations is strong, and we are so proud and honored to be performing in 16 beautiful cities in this initial East Coast tour. For us Ukrainians, music, dance, and art are a deep part of our culture. These shared traditions and heritage unite our people like language and history, creating a link between us and a brilliant artist that came before. By touring the United States, we hope to share with you an important part of what makes us Ukrainian. Opening our hearts to American people, we hope you do same back to us. The title of show Nadia of Ukraine means hope of Ukraine, symbolizing the hope and resilience of our people in this time of struggle. This ballet production is grand celebration of Ukrainian rich cultural heritage with a focus on our famous composers. The performance will also include aspects from some of the world's most celebrated ballets such as Giselle and Don Quixote, along with modern compositions. Additionally, the performance will highlight Ukrainian culture through vibrant traditional folk dance. Thank you for your attention today, and we look forward to seeing you.
Thank you, Mykyta. We're looking forward to seeing you too very much. As
Thank you.
Mr. Kassas mentioned, joining the National Ballet of Ukraine will be Shumka Ukrainian Dancers, a Canadian-based folk dance troupe, which is known for its breathtaking athletic performance of traditional Ukrainian music and dance. And we have their speaker too. Let me find the name, Mr. Sereda, Les Sereda, Artistic Director of Shumka, who is also joining us online from Canada.
Thank you. Madam Ambassador, honored guests. To start, we have a short video to share with you of Shumka's Hopak. On August 6th, 1990, exactly 34 years ago today, Shumka became the first Canadian dance company to perform on the National Opera House in Kyiv, Ukraine. This historic event marked the beginning of Shumka's long-standing relationship with the National Ballet of Ukraine. 34 years ago, Ukraine was just beginning its journey of independence. Today, amidst the terrible war, Ukraine continues to fight for its freedom. Shumka is proud to be part of this tour, sharing the stage with the National Ballet of Ukraine and to raise funds for humanitarian relief efforts. Shumka continually challenges conventional boundaries to define the experience of Ukrainian dance in the context of today's society. As Canadians, we take pride in our Ukrainian heritage, and over Shumka's 65 years as an ensemble, we've created work that not only celebrates our Ukrainian roots, but also reflects the 130-year Ukrainian-Canadian experience. We are honored to present 4 folk dances as part of this performance. Zalesyalenike, choreographed by Dave Gaynert, music by Andrei Shust. Sviato na Bukovini, choreographed by Tasha Orasiuk and Les Sereda, music by the national artist of Ukraine, Yuri Shevchenko. Verbank, choreographed by honored artists of Ukraine, Maxim Karapenko, Alexander Sinuk, Volodymyr Slepukin, and Mykyta Litvinov. Music arranged by People's Artist of Ukraine, Alexander Cheberko. And finally, Hopak, choreographed by John Piklik and the Ukrainian Shumka Dancers. Music by Gene Zwazdetsky. In closing, Shumka would like to thank Ed Kassas and the Princeton Entertainment Group for including us in this meaningful endeavor. Slava Ukraini. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sereda, and thank you for this beautiful dance. It was impressive. Dear friends, as Ambassador Markarova and Mr. Kassas already mentioned, whenever the audiences will buy tickets to these performances, they will not only enjoy a spectacular evening celebrating Ukraine's culture, they will directly help the people of Ukraine whose lives have been upended by Russia's horrible invasion. So let me invite Mr. Jeremy Courtney, CEO of Humanite, to tell us about the important life-saving work and how the funds raised by this tour will help the citizens of our nation. Sorry, Humanite.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Madam Ambassador. As my colleagues have said today, we're in the 3rd year now since the Russian full-scale invasion, and yet we don't hear much anymore about the widespread humanitarian needs that still exist across Ukraine. My name is Jeremy Courtney, CEO of Humanite, Peace Collective, a global charity that works to help people in need before, during, and after war, and works across enemy lines to make more peace. This loss of interest that we've seen in Ukraine is, of course, normal. New conflicts always come along to displace old conflicts before the old conflicts were ever solved. And most of us have a very limited capacity anyway to care for the needs and suffering of our fellow neighbors, which is why we approached the National Ballet of Ukraine last year with a novel idea to try and remind the world of the beauty and the cultural history that's really at stake here. We knew the world's attention would soon move on from Ukraine. We didn't yet know it would be the atrocities in Israel and Gaza, but we knew from our frontline experience as humanitarians in other conflicts around the world that something would come along and displace Ukraine from the front page. We knew bombings and occupied territory would soon come to be regarded as normal. And we knew we would have to come up with a fresh approach if we wanted people to continue to care. So while others tried to keep Ukraine in the headlines by just comparing atrocities on the front page every day, we bet it all on an approach to try and showcase, platform, to put on the stage the beauty of Ukrainian culture that is under attack by Russia today. In bringing the National Ballet of Ukraine on this first ever tour of the United States since Ukraine's independence from the USSR, we're inviting audiences into a celebration of all that is good and beautiful and true about the people of Ukraine, to celebrate the freedom that we all want for ourselves, and to celebrate our shared future. This pivot from trying to hold the world's attention by ongoing destruction alone to actually creating enriching experiences together in city after city, night after night, to celebrate and collaborate has already been wildly successful. There's a magic that happens in the room each night as audiences weep at the destruction of Russian airstrikes and then go on to cheer at the joy of seeing their Ukrainian neighbors refuse to be erased, and then really link arms with one another to do something about it, to build bomb shelters and underground classrooms for the 900,000 Ukrainian children that we're trying to get back into school safely. Donations from sponsors and donors and audience members throughout the tour will improve the lives of thousands of Ukrainian families who didn't ask for this war, but suffer from it just the same. There's a reason that evil always attacks art and music and dance and beauty and culture. These are the things that give us meaning. These are the things that we use to bind ourselves together. These are the things that we use to vision into a future. But if 20 years on the front lines of some of the world's worst conflicts have taught me anything, it's that those who break things and those who take things will never be able to outlast those of us who use our agency and our energy to actually make things. There's never been a ballet tour quite like this. We're eager for you to see why. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jeremy. I think it was a very beautiful ending of this press conference. And now we open to Q&A. We already received 3 questions which were put to us online. And if we have people in the audience who would like to ask a question, we have a few journalists, please raise your hands. So the first questions would be to Mr. Ed Kassas. Will you attend other areas of the United States? And would you please elaborate on this? You already mentioned a little bit about it. So how many dancers will participate on the, besides of the Ukrainian National Opera, but also Shumka, how many altogether? And finally, will there be at least one dance where both ballet dancers and folk dancers will perform together?
To answer his question, there are 44 dancers on the tour, and combining the 2 companies. And I believe that in Hopak that we may find both companies on stage together. We were trying to hide that as a secret, but I guess not so well right now. And yes, the tour starting in February, the second leg of the tour, the U.S. will start in the Midwest and then go all the way across the country to down the West Coast. So I hope I answered them all.
Any questions from the audience here? If not, so let me thank all of you for joining us. We encourage you to visit nationalukraineballet.com for additional information, photos, videos, and any updates to the tour schedule. Again, thank you very much for attending, and we are looking forward to greeting all of you in your respective cities when the National Ballet of Ukraine and Shumka dancers come to present the beauty of Ukrainian culture to you. Thank you.